So if I were to share at an IVA meeting, this is definitely what I would talk about. So my sophomore year, the summer after my sophomore year in high school, I was able to go to England, France, and Spain over on a 12-day trip. Our French class and our Spanish class came together so that we had enough kids to go on this trip. And it started off, we went to Canada because we had to fly out of Canada and we got stuck there for a day. So I could throw Canada in this one, I guess. And there's probably a picture here or there that slipped through that is from that day in Toronto. But then we did make it to England and we spent a good time in London seeing the sights. And then we went up to France and we probably spent the most amount of time in France. And the crazy thing about this to me was that I had never, not once ever, taken a class in French. I've never tried to learn the language. Spanish was always the language that I was pursuing. And yet being immersed in that language and immersed in that culture and just hearing it day in and day out for probably about 5 days straight, you definitely start to pick up on it. And it was probably one of the coolest things that I learned was that being immersed in a language completely changes the game, and it made it so easy to pick up on things. Did see the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre, and it was just a really great time, and France was definitely the focal point of this trip, but we did end in Spain all the way south. We ended up in Barcelona, so I did get to go to the beach for a day. We got to try some really, really good food like tapas, which was so fun. There's a picture of a couple different treats that we got. I think we got gelato just about every single day of this trip. And it definitely opened my eyes and led me to become an IB major. This is definitely the trip that opened my eyes, and I was like, wow, I love this. So yeah, this is what I would share on if I was sharing at a meeting, and I hope that inspires you guys to come out and share your ideas as well and your experiences. But this was mine. Thank you.
Current events is something that I'm really interested in, and something big that's happening right now is the protests in Iran. This is probably a more depressing story than what Emma probably talked about, but it's something big that is going on right now. And so a couple weeks ago, this woman, Masha Amini, was arrested by the morality police in Iran. And while in their custody, she died, and after 3 days in a coma. So after this incident, there's been a lot of backlash. There's been huge protests in Iran all over the country in over 80 cities. Over 1,200 people have been arrested, and there's been reports of live ammunition being fired on the protesters. The Iran Human Rights Organization has confirmed a lot of these stats, and it's really scary over there right now. And actually, there's been about 20 journalists arrested, and United States organizations, international organizations, have been attempting to have them be released. And so this is really big for international business and global politics in general, because these religious laws in the Middle East have been deep-rooted in their economies and in their politics. And this law for all females to be wearing a hijab properly is something that's been in their politics for many, many years, and so this could be a major change in Middle Eastern politics.
Hey everyone, this is Luke Seymour, Treasurer of International Business Association, and throughout the semester you have the opportunity to present at a meeting on a topic you're interested in, whether about be a country in general or a business event. And so here today I created my own topic on a business event that I deemed interesting to me. And so today it will be about Pinduoduo and how this company, this Chinese company, is trying to enter the American market. So here are the two articles on the screen. If you're interested in reading those, I got them from Wall Street Journal and Fortune, and this is where I got all my information from. All right, so what is Pinduoduo and its new consumer platform? How is it trying to access the American market? So launched in 2015, Pinduoduo is an e-commerce company that is primarily agriculture focused within China, and Pinduoduo incorporates community group buying. This allows Chinese customers to receive discounts on products. They are able to reach a specific customer threshold within a listed period of time. So let's say this is similar to how Groupon works in America. The larger amount of customers you have going for a certain product, and you can receive discounts on these products. It kind of works the same way back over in China. So operating in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, Pinduoduo has 882 million annual users within China, but it's definitely looking to expand into the American market because the Chinese economy is definitely facing a downturn right now, and the Chinese government is cracking down on a lot of digital platforms over in China. So the company that they're using to access America is Temu, which actually went live at the beginning of this month and is focusing on clothing and accessories in America. This is definitely of interest as Temu will not only compete with established platforms here in America such as Amazon, but a lot of other Chinese consumer platforms including Shein, AliExpress, JD.com, and TikTok Shop are other Chinese platforms trying to vie for American dollars. All right, so definitely as a Chinese company, we will have to adapt a lot to meet the needs of the American population and the demographics it's trying to market to. So first of all, individualism versus collectivism. America is a very individualistic country, creating a lot of widespread suburbs, which definitely combats how Pinduoduo operates in China, because it is definitely used to operating in an urban environment where its consumers are grouped together in the same location. So this lower population density doesn't allow Temu and Pinduoduo to effectively utilize community group buying, which is why they will not be utilizing this program within Temu. But how has Pinduoduo adapted to the American market? Recognizing how difficult it is to enter the grocery industry, which they work in agriculture back in China, Pinduoduo has decided that it could replicate the success of Shein and will instead be focusing on cheaper priced clothing and accessories. Temu platform doesn't explicitly state its links to Pinduoduo, understanding that Americans hesitate to support Chinese food. And finally, much of Pinduoduo's success can be connected to the popularity of WeChat in China, which is definitely a widespread app over there. It's not popular here in America. I think I looked up and only about 1.5 million users use it here in America. So it's difficult for them to utilize this single app to connect with their consumers. Also, it's going to be difficult for Temu to compete with Shein, which definitely has a chokehold on younger demographics, and that have already have experience on utilizing social media to connect with consumers. Also, as a newly launched program, Temu doesn't have as large of a selection of products as its competitors. It's going to be very difficult for them to compete with the likes of Amazon. And overall outlook for Temu's success in America is bearish, and not much success is expected from this platform. So thanks for listening to my presentation, and hope to see you all at next week's meeting.